Korean culture, whether that's music, comics, or television, has steadily been making its way into the mainstream for probably the last 2 decades, though the Korean wave has especially swept over the West in the last decade. Korean dramas such as Parasite and Squid Game have especially pushed the K-drama genre into the spotlight with their unprecedented success. That said, besides horrors and action thrillers, one genre of K-dramas that has also been incredibly successful is romance. And, much like with other genres, Netflix has been at the forefront in terms of delivering some of the best romances Korean television has to offer. From now classics such as Crash Landing on You to the latest sensations like When Life Gives You Tangerines, Netflix has a wide variety of romance K-dramas to choose from, with a little something for everyone. 8 Doom at your service. While Seo In-guk has been making waves lately in Netflix's Boyfriend on Demand, one of his most memorable credits to date remains Doom at Your Service, a 2021 fantasy romance with a story seemingly picked straight out of a webtoon. With a romance skin to My Demon yet long predating it, and a story as grand as Goblin, it's a mystery why Doom at Your Service has flown under the radar, as it's quite the gem. The series follows a young woman diagnosed with glioblastoma, and with little time left to live, she all but accepts her fate, damning the whole world as she wishes on a shooting star. Unbeknownst to her, this wish is heard by a mysterious being, a messenger to the gods and the personification of doom itself. Seemingly on a whim, he decides to grant her wish, permanently entangling their fates for the future to come. 7 Welcome to Samdalri. Welcome to Samdalri is yet another cozy, feel-good K-drama that's a must-watch for any romance fan. Even though the series is often dubbed a successor to Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha, Welcome to Samdalri is arguably quite different in terms of its tone and its overarching theme. Yes, on the surface, both series take place in a seaside town and similarly feature an interesting ensemble cast. However, Welcome to Samdalri is more so about rediscovering love after drifting apart, as its romance revolves around 2 ex-lovers brought back together when one of them, a successful photographer, is forced to retreat to her hometown after a scandal. This brings her face to face with her tragic first love, and the show then gradually unpacks what drove a wedge between them. At the same time, the series also explores loss, grief, grudges, friendship, and family, with just the right amount of drama surrounding the scandal to keep fans hooked. 6 Dr. Slump. Not to be confused with the iconic 80s manga by Akira Toriyama, Dr. Slump is a medical romance thriller that completely took fans by surprise in 2024. Starring Park Shin-hye and Park Hyung-sik, the series follows 2 high school rivals, bordering on enemies, who become reacquainted at the lowest point in their adulthood careers. Once at odds, the 2 medical professionals become each other's pillars as they navigate their respective struggles. In Nam Han-ul's case, this is burnout and depression, while in Yeo Jong-woo's case, he contends with losing everything in the face of a wrongful malpractice come murder trial. Beyond a thrilling murder mystery, the series does a commendable job of realistically portraying mental health issues such as depression. That said, what really sells the series is its 2 brilliant leads, with Park Hyung-sik's comedic, over-the-top portrayal of Jong-woo being especially enjoyable to watch while also being charming and multifaceted. 5 Business Proposal. Business Proposal is, without a doubt, one of Netflix's most successful romance K-dramas in recent history, so much so that it has cemented itself as a modern classic as well as a go-to starter K-drama for those new to the genre. Although Business Proposal is chock full of classic tropes such as its chaebol and commoner pairing and contractual marriage, this is offset by just how fun the series is, thanks greatly to its charming main leads played by Ahn Hyo-seop and Kim Sejong. At the same time, one of Business Proposal's unique strengths is its secondary pairing, whose romance is often even dubbed better than the main one. Despite being predictable at times, Business Proposal also oddly manages to avoid being corny. On the flip side, the series has become quite the pop culture icon, with multiple dialogues and scenes growing into extremely quotable memes. On the whole, the series is compact, addictive, and the definition of a guilty pleasure. For King the Land. When it comes to romance tropes, you can never go wrong with a good old enemies-to-lovers romance, and Netflix's King the Land is one of the best out there. Following a concierge and the chaebol general manager of the hotel the protagonist works at, King the Land seems like it could be taken straight from a cheesy webtoon at first. But against all odds, the series works, and it's also incredibly charming. Of course, one of the biggest reasons why the series works so well is the electric, playful chemistry between its main leads, played by Lim Yoona and Lee Jun-ho. Despite being the big-shot son of a major conglomerate family, Jun-ho's character, Gu-won, is also humble and down-to-earth, and, of course, a little hopeless in matters of love, making King the Land much more digestible than your typical chaebol romance. 3 Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha. For the most part, romance K-dramas have made a name for themselves for being incredibly cozy and heartwarming, and no other series better embodies this than Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha. The series was immensely popular at the time of its release, managing to stay in Netflix's top 10 for a whole 2 months after its final episode dropped, and even after all these years, Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha still holds up as being just as good. The show has aged exceptionally well and is infinitely rewatchable, and part of what makes it so good isn't just the beautiful romance or the chemistry between its main leads, but how well-rounded the show is as a whole. Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha isn't just about Hyejin and Captain Hong reluctantly falling in love, but also about the vibrant community of the seaside town of Gongjin that forms the backdrop of the series. The show stresses the importance of community, and does so with a town full of quirky yet endearing characters with heartfelt stories and arcs of their own.